This time will then go down in history as the period in which the invader was actively invited in by a corrupt elite. And not only did this corrupt elite invite the enemy in, they made the native population pay for it too. Everyone who has eyes can see it. The Great Replacement Theory is no longer a theory.
From all they build.
Blame white people for all your problems, but the word slave comes from Slavic. White people were enslaved by the Ottoman. We brought you in the modern age, from tribal waste slaughtering each other long before the white man conquered them. We invented cars, planes, and trains. We brought you laws that freed the slaves. Without us, you'd still be sleeping in caves.
Blame white people and victimize their kids. Blame white people with systemic guilt. Blame white people, yet you thrive from all they build. Blame white people for things they never did. Blame white people and victimize their kids. Blame white people.
We create electricity and the written word. They erase our history and say they did it first. They claim our skin's a curse. They rewrite the truth and teach lies in schools to the dying youth, denying proof that they benefit from everything we build. Canada was created by settlers with love and skill, not foreign immigrants that fucking steal and take credit for shit that they never built. Don't blame the government for your pain and suffering. We all have scars from the oligarchs. Without white people, this world would fall apart. This is a call to arms. We all must unite and fight or we won't survive. No matter what skin color you are, we are not far from harm. They choose to inflict on all of us. Sense and option, we all fall to dust.
Top Lobster Productions.
What does God look like? What do you see?
We're solar-powered biological AI.
Wait, what?
These ancient adversarial entities, I think it's the very same ones that rebelled against God and were cast out.
They were sent here to guide us in antiquity, and they took advantage of that and just masqueraded as gods. What's going on, everybody? Good morning, and welcome back to the Greypilled Podcast. I am your host, Jules. This is Kai, the Mississippi Mystic, the Elohim etymologist, the sound scientist. It's good to see everybody again. I am joined this morning by a special guest, a good friend of mine, someone that I actually listened to for a couple years before I started Greypilled. And I am very blessed to have him here with me this morning. Guys, the Raptilian himself, Mr. Tom Thompson, Tomcat from the Strange Brew Podcast. Tom, what's going on, man?
What's going on? I'm glad that you have so many different aliases.
as we all should. Different titles and whatnot. All right, buddy. Lay it down. That's a good way to start the show off.
Get out of here, dog.
You're very cute, Ty. All right. But good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Greypilled. Tom, what's up, dude?
What's going on? If people don't know who I am, I'm the main host, the creator of Strange Brew Podcast. But as you can hear, I also do hip-hop music. I've been rapping for a very long time. I've been writing music since I was 13, probably 12 or 13, and then started writing hip-hop lyrics essentially when I was about 14, because with hip-hop, you can convey a broader message in the matter of 3 minutes, right? You think about a rock song or anything like that, it is like maybe a paragraph of lyrics. But with hip-hop, you can contain so much information into 3 minutes to blow people's minds. And that's kind of what I've done. And then I had the microphones. And then as all of you are aware that people who know of me or have listened to the podcast before, then me and my friends just started, especially me and my buddy Billy, were just in a basement and would get drunk and talk about conspiracies.
Shout out, Billy.
And it kind of just went from there. You know what I mean? It is kind of crazy.
Yeah, guys, go over to Tom's Patreon and sign up for it. I did, and you should too. It's like $3. It's a good way to support his show, and he really puts a lot of effort into the content that he puts out. I've always been a big fan of Strange Brew, and you know I wouldn't steer you guys down a wrong path to a show that was fucking dog shit.
Yeah, I feel like we give out too much free
check out
content
Strange Brew.
Like
Taffy Rumble says, I must say, Jules, as a gay black Jewish woman of color, I found that song highly offensive. Shit, oy vey. Well, hey, dude, you know, right back at you. Taffy Rumble, good to see you here this morning. Tyranny, what's up, bro? Subliminal, Egregore Observation, Apple Eater, Stacks, JC, this other person on YouTube. What's going on, guys? Tom, I think you share to a couple of your channels as well.
Yeah, we're also on my Rumble and my Twitch. Yeah, and it's funny because like that song, right? That I was gonna sit on it, but I was like, I gotta release this before I go on to my next album and stuff, right? But like you know, I've always talked about conspiracies and stuff throughout my music career, you could call it. I didn't start releasing music on streaming platforms for the last, like, I started doing it maybe a year ago or whatever. And yeah, I'll crank that up a bit. And then you know what? Like all this kind of anti-white agenda stuff, right? We've had like one of our co-hosts was half black on the show. You know, like we've had every walk of life of people on the show that have been fans or friends and stuff like that. But like as soon as I started the anti-white agenda and I started seeing like, oh, like this kind of cultural subversion and my country being destroyed, then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to push back. And the people that may be aware of me through even just social media is I started speaking out against these agendas and the anti-white agenda. So I was like, you know what? My next album, I'm going to call The White Man's Burden. And it's all the lyrics are done. I just need to, you know, I've been so busy. I'm a new father and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to knuckle down and finish the album. But everything's written out. It's just now creating.
And the white man's burden being the rest of society, you know.
Yes.
We have to take care of everybody. Yeah. We have to build the civilization for you. We let you come live in it, destroy it, and then we still take care of you. And we get hated for it the entire time.
That is the whole premise, right? That's what that poem, the original poem, was about. Of like we're this curse to uplift other civilizations out of like the
we
Stone
don't
Age,
uplift
so
ourselves. Yeah. We beat ourselves down into submission. And yeah, man, you know, if people have a problem with us speaking up against that, you know, they can go fuck themselves.
Well, I would advocate for, like, I don't like what's going on in Palestine. I would advocate for
if this was happening to other races of people.
Right.
If black people were like 7% of the worldwide population and they were being systematically destroyed, and I'm noticing all the commercials are, say, white men with black women, which is starting now. It's misogyny. It's happening or whatever. I would notice these things and I would also call it out. Sure, people should love who they want to love. And the funny thing is about all of this stuff, because we can get into more conspiracy aspect of things, but like a lot of like I've had black people, Asians, even natives, whatever, native quote unquote, like my stuff and appreciate it. But what I find the most is the Asian community. They kind of see what's going on. I've had a lot of support by there's Japanese, Chinese, like there's a lot of actual people of Asian descent that like my message and say, yeah, I don't want white people to go anywhere. And what I find out of all cultures can get along and people can get along if they have mutual respect. I do find that whites and Asians have more or less, unless they're like the Chinese government or something, they have a mutual respect, right? They're not like the gazabazing on like trains, and
the Japanese are very based.
Yeah. And they're very like, especially the Japanese, they're very like respectful of other people's way of life. And they're not trying to impede their own. But I also said that, I was like, Chinatown shouldn't exist though. There's a whole place called China. Right. So when I got older, I was like, does that really make sense to have a Chinatown in Toronto know what I mean?
That's where it starts. Right.
Yeah.
And eventually Toronto becomes becomes Chinatown, right?
Yeah.
Or
well, that's what's happening with all the Indians
or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, man, I mean, it's happening all over the world right now. Yeah. And fortunately people are waking up to it. And,
that's just something I talk
about. They've had enough because that's the message in my household.
And it's just being pro your people. Love for your own people is not hatred for others. That's absurd that they have manipulated people so much to be like, well, if you can be pro Asian, pro black, pro Native American, pro everything, just can't be pro white because that's Nazism. And it's just so absurd. And that's why I was one of these people, and I've noticed on other shows that like older shows, I'd be like, well, when we did this to the Native Americans, or we did this, and this whole thing of like, where white people feel this collective guilt for things that they had nothing to do with. And it's interesting because the more that you research that stuff and the books that I've read, it's like everyone's like, well, the British Empire did this. But if you look at the British Empire, supposedly it is controlled, the Khazarians, whatever you want to call them, Jews, they infiltrated the British Empire like 300 years ago. They would like marry into the family to take control of it. So when they talk about some of this colonialism, like even the slave trade, especially the Dutch, it was controlled by Jewish power. And the thing is, questioning this stuff and putting like the accurate representation of history out there is not racist or whatever people want to like throw some buzzwords on. It's factually talking about things that actually happened, That's what's crazy about people.
People have a hard time dealing with reality. And so they like to make up reality in order to cope with it. And
it's like blacks, man. It's like I got tons of black friends, but like, come on, like you're not Jews, you're not Native Americans, you're not Egyptians,
you're not the Vikings. Bro.
It's so crazy.
Now they're going to tell me that they were the bards of the Middle Ages.
They're not even the Moors. They always claim that. That's not true.
Me over the edge.
Yeah.
Tom. So what started your journey down this path of conspiracy and mystery and all the stuff you get into, man, because you really do. Your show is a lot like mine, in which there are a lot of topics that you dive down, and there's really no borders to where to your questioning. Right?
It's true. Yeah.
It's good. It's good, dude.
Yeah.
It's something that's lost, I think, today in conspiracy. People have these walls built up around these certain ideologies they have, to where they don't want to make themselves uncomfortable. They don't want to go and question too far down this rabbit hole, because what if it unearths some truth that uproots my entire belief system? And it's like, well, okay, you're gonna have to deal with that eventually, probably either in now or in death, so or the next life, whatever you believe. But what led you to chase
so I think it started when I was very young, right? There's a lot of people that maybe just waking up now, or people are always surprised how long I've known about what's going on or been aware of this stuff. And it's just, I have people, there's always people that want to brag about this or that, or I've been doing this for this long and all that stuff. And that's not necessarily something that we all need to be doing because it just causes more division. But if you talk to people like Billy, I've been like people that in my personal life, there's people now that are coming up to me being like, oh, yo, what you said like years ago or whatever is happening. And I can't believe people are calling you crazy. One of my buddy Luke that he used to work with, he started messaging me recently. And it's like, man, you were right, weren't you? And I was like, yeah, I tried to tell you. You all called me crazy when I was a chef. But like it started when I was like 12. And I started listening to music. Music really woke me up, right? And I was just telling the story recently of like, me and my buddies were in the shed and we were all smoking weed and hanging out. We're like maybe 13. We're getting into the punk scene, like Anti-Flag, gotta die for your government, die for your country, that shit. Even though all these punk bands have now become really like, I'm anti-transphobia. I'm anti-Islamophobia.
To come into the show.
Yes, it's so crazy. Anti-Flag sold out. Fucking,
like,
I know there's so many of those bands that did that.
Yeah, bro, that really made me mad when I saw the entire punk and hardcore scene, because I grew up the same way, going to hardcore shows, maybe a little more underground and like a little more obscure, but like all these people are just like pussies now, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck happened?
That was a whole like fight against the government.
You stand for nothing, and you are the complete embodiment of everything that you used to go against.
You became the authoritarian, essentially, right? They're against these authoritarian governments pushing things on people, and then they're like, we're anti-everything, anti-Islamophobia, anti-trans, whatever, right? And so that stuff kind of woke me up. But then I just remember sitting in that shed, and like my buddy brought over, he was the only one that was like, we're all like punk kids, really into the Sex Pistols, the Ramones, the Misfits. And we had this buddy, Joey, and he brought this CD in. And it was his older brother CD. And I had like Little Troy on it, Wanna Be a Baller, Shakala. But we listened to the song by Immortal Technique, Dance with the Devil. And then we were all sitting there.
Me up as a teenager.
Dude, we were sitting there smoking. We were like, what the fuck, right? And then I started listening to stuff like that. Dude, it fucked with your head. You're like, holy shit, that shit's hardcore.
And they're a little white boy. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, looking into the eyes of his own mother as he like rapes her. Like, that's just crazy, dude. Right?
And then you play that for other people, and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I know, right? And then so I got into that, and I started researching his music. And I might not agree with everything he says, because as I've gotten older,
best freestyler. Best fucking dude. His freestyle tracks of him live in New York at these clubs dissing people. Holy shit. He has this one where he's like, I'll fuck your girl while she's pregnant and bust a nut in your kid's face. And it's like, oh my God.
He was pretty hardcore, especially him with he would battle Diabolic.
Sorry, guys.
And Diabolic, I think, has always been aware of the stuff. Yeah, he's that big white dude. Diabolic's one of the, by far, I think, one of the most creative conspiracy rappers out there. I think he's even better than Immortal Technique, in my opinion. But they had beef, and they've like separated him. And Diabolic has kind of been shoved to the side, but he pumps out bangers, if you guys don't know who he is. But they used to battle rap and stuff like that. But and that's what kind of woke me up, is music like that. And Immortal Technique, I think, I don't agree with everything he says. He used to be like, he was a pro-proletarian communist bullshit. And the older I got and researched it, I'm more like, yeah, I think that you've also been conditioned.
I think he's an occultist, bro.
Yeah, I'm a revolutionary. So you're a communist, right? So like you want to have the Bolshevik revolution over again.
Yay.
Yeah, so I don't like, I'm kind of pushed back against, like, I still enjoy his music, but listening to it now that I've like molded my own opinion and researched the things that are going on, I'm like, oh, you're definitely conditioned too. But that's the thing that started it. And then when I started writing my own music, it was kind of sloppy, but then I got better at it, and I would just slang CDs in high school. But I like the conspiracy aspect. Like some of the songs, if you go to Spotify or wherever you listen to music and look up the Raptilian, I'm starting to finally get some recognition. I have an album that's from 2015, 2010 to 2015. So it shows how long I've been doing this stuff for. It's called The Lost Tapes. It's a lot of the older songs I had. And then I started writing about this stuff. And then when I had the microphone, right, I was like, I just asked my buddies, like, I was already talking about this stuff, and I was watching, I got obsessed, right? First, it was the paranormal, right? I've told you this before. Like, we used to play Ouija board when we were young, and we would call, like, Harold Houdini, even though, according to Ryan Gable, he's a Jewish psyop, like, almost like an Epstein character, which I was like, we can talk about that in a bit.
Like Einstein?
No, like supposedly, Houdini is like a Jewish asset, and he was being used to do some nefarious operations, just as Epstein was, like trying to blackmail people.
He was a Mossad agent.
Yeah. And that's maybe the sleight of hand, like Kabbalah magic bullshit. But so we used to do all that stuff, and that opened the doors to like the reality is not as real as we think it is. And then I got older. I was listening to a lot of David Icke, and especially when I was like 16, 17, and obsessed with aliens. Like I was super obsessed with the whole alien idea and the Greys and the Reptilians and the Palladians and the hierarchy, and so much so that I wrote a song called Alien Races and really try to dive into that. And then it just progressed from there. Very anti-government. And then recently I've really tried to embrace like my heritage and who I am, considering like my family's been in Canada since 1604. So I'm starting to realize like that is a little more important, right? If this reality is not as real as we think it is, that's for sure. We're being manipulated on a grand scale more than people want to acknowledge. But if we don't have a home, then it doesn't matter. And yeah, the aliens might be fake and gay. Some people think, as someone says in the chat, they might be demons. But there is forces that are manipulating our society, and I've seen them. And if Jules wants to get into it at some point, I can explain my shadow people story.
We'll get into that. Yeah, man, for sure. We'll definitely get into that.
Houdini-berg.
But no, dude. So you mentioned you're exploring your heritage. Since I found out that I was like 99.1% Northwest European, I've been exploring mine too, dude, and looking into ancient ancestral roots and religions and stuff, and the symbolism. And man, it's fascinating. All this, a lot of the symbolism that was taken from those religions and put into.
You know exactly where you're from. You didn't get a Jew DNA test, did you?
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah, no, 0%, dude. I already told you. I talked about this when I went on the Paranoid American podcast last Saturday. Guys, that's dropping. I think Thomas said next week. It's a fucking banger. One of the best shows I've done since Tinfoil Hat. One of the best interviews that I've done. Thomas really he threw out the banger questions. But I talk about the Druids and, all this stuff that you find in the Christian mysteries, you also find in the Druidic mysteries. Yeah. So it's like, where'd it come from?
Yeah.
Further back you go, but it's something I've been getting into lately, the Arthurian cycle, King Arthur and Merlin and the bards and all that stuff. People probably are sick of me talking about it, but I've just started, so they have no idea. But as I, because my whole family is basically from England and Wales, and then Scandinavia, Switzerland.
I was gonna say you look a little Russian.
Well, they migrated.
You and Billy are
Germany. My German ancestors migrated to Sweden, I think, because I'm 3% Scandinavian. So
I always joke because you and Billy are that like skinny white boy, like Aryan looking, because Billy's got German in him. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, dude. I'm like a European buffet.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, I even have like 0.5 Greek in me. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, man, no. So it's very interesting when you start to when that, and it's like this calling that you get inside of your spirit. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. It's very hard to explain unless you've experienced it yourself. But
well, I like the way that there's certain people that like look at this aspect of your lineage and your DNA and your heritage, and how like this idea of reincarnation might be this idea that your bloodline gets passed through your children, and you inherit their genetics and the ways they think and their fears, and it goes through and travels. So all of these times that people are having these near-death experiences, or maybe they see their past lives when they're going to some sort of psychic, you could be seeing your ancestors and what they were going through. And that's why you have these kind of these inherent traits and how like like a DNA, right? The double helix that goes like down into infinity.
Two serpents entwined.
Yes. Yeah. Which
they say is an evil symbol, but when you look into the symbolism of the serpent, I mean, even in the Abrahamic paradigm, it's what Moses held up in the desert. It's used throughout the entire Bible, but then we're told that it's this symbol of, and it's like, no, it's actually a symbol of knowledge. Yeah. It represents solar energy. It represents sexual energy. It represents a whole lot of things. And people don't do the research to learn about the symbolism. And I've said this, I'm beating a dead horse here constantly. If you don't understand, if you fear what you don't understand, how can you understand what you fear? Right?
Yeah.
It's a very simple question, but at the same time, it's very like, wow, I actually have to think about that. It makes people kind of explore what they fear. I like to go into everything almost just fearless, dude. Fucking just head on. And that's the way I think we should all face things. I mean, obviously don't be an idiot, but damn, Jay Brooks. No, we're not blaming Canada for anything. We love Canada.
It's not
we
the
love
Canadian
our fellow
people.
Canadians.
It's the government.
It's the fucking government.
It is. And the thing is, I said this to Jules when we did our race war episode. It's like Canadians and Americans came from the exact same stock of people. If you go back far enough, realistically, it's true. So we shouldn't be fighting because our government is full of a bunch of communist traitors, and then your government is full of a bunch of communist because it's true. Like Trump is obviously a Jewish asset, right? So,
Stacks, I don't have a family crest. I'm looking into. My dad is getting me in touch with my family with the last name of Downing. I know there's a Downing Street in England. So, then my grandmother's maiden name is Hackney. That's also very English.
Yes.
And then Preston, obviously my last name. There's a town. I'm pretty sure. I think there's a Preston Crest. But yeah, I see all you guys in here. You've got 0.5. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, Egregore. Yeah, I got 0.5 of Greek in me.
Yeah, it is. It's sad what's happening to Canada.
But the thing to look back and think like, wow, there was some guy that lived 1,000 years ago that maybe looked just like me. Yeah, I see it in my grandfather, my grandfather, who that was adopted by the Jewish family. I look just like him. Yeah. Like it's uncanny, dude. You look at a picture of him back in the 50s and it's like I time traveled.
It is weird once you look at like seeing my baby and how much she looks like me. It is like, especially like younger photos of me. It is like genetics are wild, man. And that's why realistically, and it's like, you shouldn't race mix. And people be like, that's crazy. Why do you say that? And it's like, well, it's just, it is just true. Your kids won't look like you. That's a fact.
Yeah. And like it happens, I want that for everybody. Like I want that for blacks. Too. I want their kids to look like them. I want Asian kids to look like their parents. Latino
it's interesting because you could have white, say a white and a Japanese person. They have kids. They can actually look like both parents. There's something in the genetics though of like say, white and black people coming together. And it's not like I have a friend that has he had a kid with a black woman, and there's nothing against that. But I'm saying that like realistically. There is the African population has grown 900% since the 1900s, 900%. And the white race, it is essentially going extinct. So do I think that white people should try to have kids? Well, yes. But it's not negating the fact that, if people love somebody,
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. And, I'm not going to hate anyone for it.
No, me either.
I prefer, for my family, something else. And I don't want people pushing ideals or, this fucking shit on my kids, right? Because they're my kids, not yours. And that's when you get like, that's when you get to like, oh, wait a minute, this is a little more sinister.
Yeah, but the idea is you want your children to look like you and who you are and pass down your lineage, right? That's the whole concept of it. And the thing is, it's so funny because that whole regard of like, you could like, it's like black people can say it. If like I knew Asian friends or my cousin that grew up in Toronto, and he dated a Chinese chick, and she couldn't tell her parents because they're like, I don't want you dating no white boy. You know what I mean? So like, It's everyone else does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, now the Jews have your DNA, man. They're gonna create a clone of you.
I'm the I'm the real me. I'm the only me.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm gonna be the one to take back King Arthur's castle from John Mappin. So there's that too. But me, motherfuckers. All right, Tom. So what got you? What was this experience that you had? This shadow person experience?
Yeah, this is like my wildest story.
A shadow man experience.
That's so funny. The dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Stealing my steez, Jewel.
From Here's the Extremist. I stole from Nephilim Death Squad.
Applesauce, bitch.
There we go. Nice. I love it. Well, StreamYard has one now.
They've stepped up their game, but then their audio quality is going out the window, man. We've noticed this constantly on our end. Aaron's louder, I'm louder, fucking Billy's way too loud. That's just what happens. But it's just so this was we're all in Cuba. And stuff like that, which is just weird, right? And I was like, it is interesting because how this gets created is so trauma is the thing that allows these entities to come in. People can think aliens are fake and gay, the word alien, but the idea and the premise of it is real. I'm not maybe is real, but is real. So like that's the fact that there is manipulated and there's entities outside of our reality. This reality is not as real as you think it is. Chew a ton of mushrooms and you will start to see the layers of this reality dissolve. I've done a ton of psychedelics, at least mushrooms, a lot. So I'm aware that there's things outside, but we're in Cuba having a great time. The last day, we're at the bar, everybody's drinking. And then my buddy, it's my cousin's cousin. I've been friends with him forever. Like he's my cousin. I hang out with his cousin. And he's like used to be one of the funniest guys I ever hung out with. And these Russian guys were bugging us. This kind of leads up to the story of why I saw shadow people. And so they go up behind my buddy and they literally say to him, you're not that good looking, but you have beautiful balls. And they reached around and they grabbed his nutsack and squeezed on his testicles. And then so somebody's like, yo, your buddy's down. I turn around, we're at this bar on the resort, and then all hell breaks loose. And he's got to go like the hospital because they think that he's injured his nuts. These Russians run away. We're like, what the hell is going on? And then so I'm starting beef with everybody. It was like really ridiculous. And then my buddy Mike finally comes back. Everything's fine. But I'm just fucking pissed, right? Pissed at these people. It's crazy. We can get into mushroom stuff later, but it was just nuts. This all hell broke loose. I threw a drink on this guy trying to help us because I was drunk. And they were trying to kick us off the resort, but luckily we had this black security guard loved us. And he didn't even speak English, and we used to hang out with him. And he's like, no, they're fine. They're fine. They're fine. And then, so this kind of leads up to the last day. So we're going on the airport. My buddy Mike runs around the resort drinking alcohol. He's getting wasted because he's pissed about what happened. He ruined his last night. And then it is interesting because as we're going through this, you're drinking all week and then you're not, right? So all your levels are really low. And then we're going on the bus and he's completely wasted. And the guy on the bus was like, yeah, he won't probably be able to board the plane. And he's wearing just pajama pants, no shoes, no socks, no shirt. He falls into the bus. He goes into the airport. So all this stuff leads up to how negative aspects of our reality can bring you down. As we're in line, I'm watching this. And this is why I think that there is something to do with alcohol and spirits. And this is that time where I was really looking into this stuff. I was bringing all these things around me right at the time. I used to use Ouija board a lot. I was into the occult stuff, looking into this stuff, reading the Satanic Bible, things I shouldn't have been messing with. And then so we're in the middle of the airport. I'm watching him, and this is how you can see alcohol kind of changes people. And he's sitting in the middle of the airport, and he's dancing, Cuba, Cuba. This music's playing, and then he gets in the middle of the airport and starts chewing his own toenails. And this is why you see people will change when alcohol is brought into the equation. They can be the nicest people in the world, and then all of a sudden alcohol will change and destroy who they were, and then something might take over. I've seen this many times of people maybe even myself, where it seems like things are kind of influencing you when you're in these states of subconscious, especially like alcohol. And then so as we're leaving, he spits in the ambassador's face for Canada, and she comes over, she's like, I can't help him. We're like, what? Whatever. And she's like, he just spit in my face. And we're like, what? And then so as we're leaving, he's yelling, fuck Castro, fuck Cuba. And I'm like, no, like, you're gonna get yourself thrown in some sort of like Cuban jail. And then so I'm on the plane ride home, and I'm thinking about him, and I'm like, and I didn't even fill out my paperwork. Everything is like crazy. Like it just so much things happen at once. And then and we go through customs, I almost get like, they're like trying to bring coke over the border because none of my stuff was signed. It was just chaos. And then as I go home, and I've never had these experiences before, I come there, I'm surprised. My now wife is there, and this is when I'm 19. So this shows you how long we've been together, a long, long time. And I get there, and she surprises me, and then I start breaking down. I'm like, Mike is in Cuba. Like, I don't know when he's going to come home. I don't know if he's in a Cuban jail right now. This is crazy. And then so I smoke a little bit of weed the first time all week, and then I've never had this feeling before, ever, of smoking weed. Everything starts getting really slow, and it just feels like I'm in this weird other dimension while I'm fully awake. And everything's slowing down. And I was like, as we were talking, we were walking around like the living room and then going downstairs. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And then as I'm going to bed, she doesn't notice this stuff, but I'm starting to have like this like sleep paralysis. I'm like stuck in my own body. It's so weird. And I've had sleep paralysis one other time. And it's when I was sleeping on my stomach, and it felt like something was laying on my back, and I had to rip it off. And it was like scary. And this was like I was stone cold sober. The weed is already worn off. We're just kind of going to bed, trying to relax. And she's trying to calm me down. And then as I'm going through this experience, I feel these, like what they claim with astral projection, because I've already looked at this stuff and researched some of this stuff, is these rushing sounds of ocean or a jet engine is playing in my, like it's in my whole skull, it feels like. And then I'm getting this sleep paralysis. I've never had it like this, where I could open my eyes and I couldn't move my body, and it was so scary. And then I'm going to rip myself out of it. And then I keep trying to fall back asleep, but every time I close my eyes, I'm like thinking about Mike and how he's stuck in Cuba, but then, and like where he is and all these negative things. And then as I open my eyes, I see these shadow creatures looking down at me, and it feels like they're sucking out my soul. And I feel like this thing is really trying to rip my soul out of my body. It was like so frightening, and probably like 6, 7 of these creatures looking down at me. And it wasn't an hallucination. Terrifying. I was wide awake. I know what I experienced. And that's why I tend to believe people, like either they're part of a government experiment or the idea of aliens and interdimensional beings is real. Because like you have these people have the experiences, and if they're a credible person, you should kind of believe maybe especially if they're not trying to look out for money. But they also could be a government psyop where they're being taken, like Barney and Betty Hill supposedly was taken by the government. Right. But then as I'm like seeing these creatures, I'm trying to wake up, I'm having all these crazy feelings, feeling my soul's going to enter my body. And then this is where it gets crazy. So I stood up, and I'm wide awake, and I go towards my door, and I see this 8-foot tall, like reptilian type creature shadow, because it was like a shadow, but I could almost make out some features, like a bald head, very tall, like taller than the doorway. And then like I could see its claws. I could see like fingers, but with like longer nails. And as I went through the door, I went to grab the door, and this time I was like, I know what you are, kind of thing. And it looked down at me. And I walked through the door, and I got this crazy rush of like spiritual energy, like something just really weird and demonic kind of. And I remember going to the washroom and being like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You know what this is? These are things trying to obviously consume your energy, because I was aware of this stuff. Dude. And then wide awake, very real. And then let's go back to the Russian squeezing your nuts. It wasn't my nuts; it was my buddy's nuts.
So you're not gay; it's your buddy.
Yeah, and then so when I lay back down, I couldn't sleep until the sun came up. And I've never, ever had anything, an experience like that before. And I was really low emotionally, vibrationally.
Yeah.
And these things were trying to consume whatever the fuck they were. And even when I've used the Ouija board, it would tell me that like you have 9 souls connected to you. Some are evil and some are good. And then when I've done the Ouija board in the past, my aunt, she's from Jamaica. She's like, never use it alone. And I used to use it I used to get drunk when I was like 16. I used to drink alcohol and I'd be listening to music and then sometimes I'd whip out the Ouija board and try to use it. And as I got older, it stopped telling me it was ghosts. And I don't know if it was my subconscious. I'll admit that. I have no idea. Like if it was my own subconscious, but I felt something pulling my hands. Even when I used to do it with friends and stuff like that, I felt it pulling my hands. But it would start telling me that like, no, we're actually not like dead. We're not dead spirits. We're alive spirits. You're what we consider reptilians. We don't call ourselves that. And it would start telling me shit like that. And that's when I started getting in, like, there was definitely like some sort of demonic energy like surrounding me and shit like that. Yeah, I was fucked.
I'd say so. Wow, man.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, I have tons of questions for you. But it's
scary as hell, man. I know. Something there's some sort of demonic energy. It's like, crazy.
This is what I think it may have looked like when Tom had this where'd it go? Fuck, where'd it go?
It was I've never, that was probably, and that proved to me that things are not as real as we think it is. Yeah, that's like the sleeping demon. We brought this image up before.
The donkey,
it's like
and everything.
The donkey. Why is he like so like being like?
It's Priapus. It has to do with the phallus. And
well, he looks like he's up to something no good. He's like,
he's doing.
I was gonna rape that chick before you sat on her chest, with my donkey dick, but
yeah. Well,
like, whoa.
Yeah, that's his daemon there. I think. I don't know.
There's a lot of weird
basically
stuff to do,
you laying down. Anyway, but no, dude, that's something. So how many mushrooms did you eat? How many grams?
Oh, I wasn't even doing mushrooms at that time. Just so you know,
This was just after smoking.
No, so listen, I was completely sober. No mushrooms, no nothing. So I smoked a little bit of weed, right? And that's when stuff started getting slow. And then we were just chilling out. I think we watched a movie. It was kind of late when I get back from the airport. And then no mushrooms, completely sober. I burnt out from the weed already. And I was just a low vibration. I was literally, it's not nerve damage. I was completely awake, sober. I was 19, healthy, other than drinking alcohol and stuff like that. Yeah, Rabbi Shmuley was standing over my chest. But it was real. I don't care what people think. They can say, they can discredit it. They can say I'm crazy. I don't give a fuck. Until you guys have an experience like that, you will never understand the things that exist outside of our reality. And there's tons of people that have experiences like that.
Somebody say anything a demon says to you, just repeat it back to them in a retard voice and go that.
Yeah. It's
well, yeah. Well, now we know, fear is what feeds these entities.
And I was in fear of my friend.
Yeah,
being
and
left
so
in Cuba
you didn't know. So, yeah, it's like, okay, you had this traumatic situation with your friend. This puts you in a low vibrational state, and you hit the weed. Are you sure it wasn't angel dust or something? No. This is like this is like I know weed. Used to hit fry sticks or whatever.
No. This was like normal weed I had before I went. Before I had it already.
Getting wet.
Yeah, I already had this shit. Like I already smoked it before I left. Like it was fine. Nothing was wrong with it. And I didn't hallucinate because the thing, I was wide awake too. And there's other experiences I've had where I've seen weird things, just not to that extent. Right? Like we've had my buddy, we were playing the Ouija board. He was native, so he had the darkest skin. So we're like, can you scratch him? And he pulled up his sweater and we could see fucking scratch marks on his arm.
That's fucked.
So
yeah, man. Yeah, there's something with the Ouija board. I'm going to get into tomes and talismans and tools that people use in the occult. There's going to be some deep dives that we're going to do on those.
You going to fuck yourself with a crucifix?
No. Over the past 6 months, we've gotten into tulpas and the egregore, all the things that come from the egregore.
Because we could be creating some of this
stuff. The Genius Loci, all this stuff that we've talked about over the last 6 months.
That's
and now
funny.
we're getting
I was just writing an episode about tulpas, just because it's like we haven't really. It's kind of like the cryptid of all cryptids kind of thing of this.
Watch Twin Peaks.
You manifest. I know everyone tells me to
watch Twin Peaks, and you'll understand the tulpa. Everyone who watches my show knows now. At the very end of Twin Peaks, 3rd season, you realize something.
Well, that's what you talk about when we did Jeff the Talking Mongoose, which it didn't go the way I wanted it to because technical difficulties. But we were talking about how like it could have been a tulpa, like a manifestation of this like thing of this creature, and it would talk in this like really high pitched voice and shit, and it would like make fun of, which was so funny because it'd make fun of, and he was Indian, so the whole episode we were doing like,
hello, I am talking Jeff from India,
and we were doing shit like that, and it was just so funny because it's like. Imagine a talking mongoose, but he's from India.
That, dude?
I got a new soundboard. I like it. It's fucking hilarious.
It's the Jews.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So funny. I've never watched Twin Peaks. I wonder if my wife would like it too. It'd be interesting because it's someone also Supernatural. Everyone's like, you should watch Supernatural. You probably love it. Kind of gay.
Twin Peaks is more of a cult following, and then you get into David Lynch and that whole. There's people that have dedicated
David Lynch is a creepy fuck.
Their entire identity to the Lynch verse. I think that's a little silly.
I was sitting in McDonald's drive-thru and I saw this guy's face in front of me turn to a reptilian looking at me in his side mirrors. He did it on
whoa, where, whoa, where are you reading
RGZ
from?
Mac. Yo, that's crazy.
Say Mac.
That might be like, listen, like, you know, Shane from Inquiries of Our Reality, right?
I just went on his show. Shout out Shane.
Dude, he had that experience where it was during COVID and he was like at like a festival or fair. And like, he saw someone like pull down their mask and their face like shapeshifted.
Okay,
like,
we didn't talk about that.
Real. Yo, it's fucking crazy.
He's coming on my show this next month, I think. So we have to.
We're always trying to connect with like time differences and like people have kids and it's always hard to figure out.
Well, dude, have you ever talked to Chris from Forbidden Knowledge News?
Oh yeah, me and Chris are pretty.
Have you heard his story?
Yeah, I got him
with the reptilian woman, dude.
Yeah, it was his girlfriend. Yeah,
he thought he was
just
in
talking
hell?
to Chris. Yeah,
dude.
I made him explain that whole story on my show. And
he explained it on mine. It's going into the new Greypilled edit for the end of the year, guys. Working on a Greypilled edit.
It's nuts, and he's like, last time he brought me on, I was like, if we can get into some controversial stuff. So I talked about the Kalergi plan, and I'm like, and then somebody started listening to our show, and they're like, he's like, good for you. Someone like some chick was like, good for you for bringing up this stuff and talking about it. I'm like, well, somebody needs to at some point. So I will kind of because I'm fascinated with that stuff. And I'm also fascinated by,
and his name is Adolf Hitler.
And it's so funny because I'm not saying he's a good guy or anything like that. I actually believe he was more controlled opposition, but that shit is just fascinating to me. Don't watch Supernatural unless you want to have a man crush on two dudes for a week straight. I just like I had people like you would probably like it.
I'm glad, man. That makes me happy, dude. That means I did something good. Yeah, my wife wants to rewatch it with me. I was like, okay, we're gonna rewatch it again, guys. I guess we'll rewatch it on Patreon again.
Best artist to ever live. It's just so funny because like that's the I said on the one episode when we were talking about the Vril Society and stuff, and I was like, this idea of like Adolf, who he was. What are we told about him? Is it true? Is he controlled opposition? Because I've always said without him, there is no Israel. They wouldn't have been formed, the Balfour Declaration, all that type of things. And then I said it's the same way that people that are, if they're flat, they believe the earth is flat. It's like, well, if they're lying about the earth being flat, about it, what else are they lying about, right?
Dude, like, if you think about it, the Jews kind of used them.
100%. I think they did because still there is the footage of him all hopped up on drugs.
They took advantage of his altruism.
Yeah.
And then he kind of, got caught wind of it. Was like, hey, wait a minute. What's going on here? And before he knew it, the walls were closing in on him. All his allies had turned on him.
Yeah. I think that just fascinates me so much just because I'm like, what is real and what is not real?
History is written by the victors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we see who runs society today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on, guys. If you haven't questioned this stuff by now, then you are, in my opinion, you are You're
We're
part
always
of the problem.
joking about it on the show. Like I make so many Hitler jokes just because like, and there's probably been fans that are like, there's one fan that I told you about off air that was like, I don't know if I like the new Tom. And I'm like, it's not
Everyone
the new
has an
Tom.
opinion, Jay Brooks.
It's like, there's just some things that I didn't talk about on the show at the beginning. Cause I'm like, we did more offensive, like, you know, saying retard and other stuff that we would do joking around drinking, but we held back on some things. But I'm like, I have the platform to talk about it. If there's things that just interest me, I'm going to talk about it, right? Like this whole idea that people need to keep themselves in a box and not question certain things. Like we've questioned the whole like native genocide and the things that went on in the past with like, you know, the settlers and the natives and what kind of victimhood story we're being told. Some people didn't like that, right? And it's like, you're allowed to question things. If you think you're going to be penalized or criticized or demonized for questioning something, then it's probably should be worth questioning.
Yes, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it, dude. Absolutely, man. I think that's very important. Especially right now, you see what's happening in the political realm. The right is eating itself right now.
Yeah, and the left is doing the same thing. It's all to get the same plan, right? The left is hell bent on self-destruction, and then the right is doing the same thing, right? Left versus right is fake, man. You have these MAGA people, and there's some things that Trump has done that I like, where I'm like, oh, that's a good policy, or like, oh, like I heard that he's trying to ban or stop immigration from the third world. Okay, like that's a good thing, right? But like at the end of the day, they're all controlled by the same puppet and the same hidden hand. Hey, Canadians used to be some of the coolest, nicest, down to earth, just like, you know, Canadians could chill with anybody and be cool with them until we got flooded with Indians, and then we became the most racist people. Cause like at the end of the day, that's what's going to change. It's like that. There's a meme, and it's like Canadians went from the known as the nicest people to the most racist, because it's like, and all they had to do was get flooded with millions of Indians. And that's so true.
Yeah, man. It's unfortunate when the people who are supposed to protect your borders are destroying them and opening them up.
It's funny when people are like, "What? Like, why are they doing this?" It's like, are you retarded or something?
They
like,
hate
what do
you.
Like, they hate you and want you dead. You know. We got maple syrup and beer. We got other things, man. We got like a Bigfoot up here. We got some good stuff. You know. Yeah, but honestly, to me, Canada was white longer than America was.
And if it wasn't for the French, we wouldn't have won the fucking revolution.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like
guys, we would have been sitting ducks.
Yeah. It is interesting. One thing about this, we all could have been one thing, but you guys went to be independent, maybe controlled by Freemasonic oligarchs, and then we went the other way of being like loyalists to the crown, also controlled by shady hands, and it just was all manufactured in the same way, right?
Yeah, by some other lodge of Freemasonic oligarchs.
It's the same shit, right?
Maybe like, Rosicrucians, maybe Jesuits.
Canadian people are cool except for Quebec. Yeah, fuck Quebec. We always make fun of those French fucks.
Yeah, aren't they like super bougie and just like?
Well, I always make fun of them because everywhere else in Canada has to be bilingual. We need French and English, but if you go to Quebec, everything is in French, like everything, right? And it's just like, and they're like so rude if you speak English, but they're not dealing with the Jeet problem that well. They're like, we can't. No, get some out of here, baguette. You know, that went German, but you know. Oh, get those Jeets out of here. And they just like freaking out, and they're like, they don't like it. But now they're trying to ban all religion. And in Quebec, they're doing this right now.
Shit. That's wild,
it's nuts. Dude. I'm like, is that a good thing? Or like in school and in public settings because the Muslims coming in? And I'm like, I guess if you can't have one, you can't have the other. But think of that Canada, like I'm not religious, but Canada was founded on like Catholics and Christians. And that's the way it should be, right? And I actually do believe, as much as I push back on the native stuff, that we should embrace some of their culture. Dancing around a fire's fun. Building little rock statues is fun. You know, we can embrace some of their stuff. We can put on a headdress that they copied from the fucking Nephilim or whatever, right? So
if you go further back, you know, it says how our ancestors. I mean, they were the same. They had the same tribal rites and rituals. You know what I mean? At some point, you know.
Have you seen the Northmen? Norsemen. The Norsemen.
The Norsemen. I think it's the Northman, isn't it?
Northman, yeah. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen all of it.
Dude, why? You like it. He like trips out on they give him like some one shaman gives like some peyote drugs. And like I liked it. It's Robert Eggers is his name, I think that's the guy. And he's the guy that made Nosferatu, and he's one of those guys that kind of keeps everything more or less white. And
right.
I like that, right?
He's old school. Yeah,
and true to it. Like there wasn't one black person I think in that film. And it's like if you're gonna make a movie about Africa, North Africa, right? No, well, that's more Muslims, but you know what I mean. You're not gonna have a bunch of white people in. So like if it's the other side, if it's a movie about China, it should be Chinese people, right? Oh yeah, it's Canada's imported the third world fast. It just seems like, hey, what happened? It seems like is trucker convoy. Canadians stand up, and it was pretty much 90% of them were white, but there was Asian people, there was natives, there was black. Everyone was coming together to be like, fuck this government. And then they laid the jackboots on us, and the RCMP literally bragged about it, and they beat people in the streets like crazy shit. Like, you know what I mean? Hitting people with rifles and butts and stuff. And then they went from, oh shit, they're waking up, flood them with the most low IQ, entitled people to ever exist. And I have friends that are Indian, and I tell them this stuff too. Like, it is like they took some of the worst entitled, give me grint type of people, and they're like, now flood them with them, and then give them all the trucking jobs so they can kill a bunch of Canadians on the road. And then it just seems like they literally went from like full force. Like it was already happening for like years everywhere in the world, from America to Canada to Europe, all enacted an immigration act around the 1960s and 70s, where all of them were mostly like in Canada, you had to be white to come to Canada until about the 70s, until Pierre Elliott Trudeau, that reptilian communist, changed it. And it happened in Britain. It happened in the UK. It happened in America all around the same time. Everybody signed on to the same sort of immigration act in the 60s and 70s. And then they started flooding the country with foreign people from especially the third world, people that didn't really assimilate. Some of them did, some of them didn't, to a culture, right? So that's the biggest agenda. When people are like the most, there's reptilians, there's ghosts and aliens, and there's all sorts of things throughout history and the Bible or whatever. But the most important thing that I see happening, that I can see with my eyes, is the Great Replacement. That's why I talk about it so often. That's why I've went viral on X without even having to post. Someone else posts my stuff and it goes viral on X, right? Dude,
I was just talking about this. The new Robin Hood show, I was real stoked for it. Robin Hood being the men of the oak. This was another class of druid, right? Mm-hmm. You get into the Green Man, you get into like the Celtic mysteries and the Allfather Who, and all this other stuff. I'm telling you, I'm getting into a bunch of these different pantheons lately. The Thracian and Phrygian gods, and me and Headless Giant have a show where we talk about the rustic gods of Greece. Mm-hmm. And man, just bunch of different views.
Why are you mad about Robin Hood
as well? Huh?
Why are you mad about Robin Hood?
Because Little John is black, dude.
I know, I saw that.
Why?
That's so stupid.
Why? Like, no, we wasn't fucking men of the oak and shit. Like, that's not. No, we weren't.
Yeah, the white Canadians. The Canadians do have some hot ladies. Even I used to be a fan of Necro, but he went off on me. But Necro, I used to say the hottest people are Australians and Canadians, like the women, at least the white women.
Well, okay, let me finish my point. It gets to the point where it's exhausting, but it's like, wasn't there a Robin Hood movie where Morgan Freeman played a Moor?
Yeah.
Why couldn't they have incorporated that into the show? That would have been fucking great.
But the Moors weren't even black; they were Arabic. Like that's what
I know. But
I know.
Have the black guy play the Moor, okay? Not Little John. He doesn't like Little John is clearly from like some Yorkshire or like some. Yeah, well, he's from the woods.
Have some movie about Africa. Like, why? It is this thing of like, why does it need to be incorporated? Everything like that Swedish thing of like all the original Swedes or Swiss or whatever. I think it was Sweden. Were like black, and which is a lie. This is like cultural subversion. It's ideological subversion being used, and this is how the communists get you. And this is like a real thing. People are like, this idea of everyone talking about fascism. We're living in a world controlled by communist ideologies. Like, I truly believe the New World Order is the communist New World Order. And that's what's funny, interesting too, because like this idea, I've been called out where it's like, well, you're white, why are you rapping or whatever, right? And it's like, What's this funny? It's just like white people were rapping, making poetry, rhyming over beats far longer than black people were. People can say Bob Dylan. If you listen to that one Bob Dylan song, I can't remember what it's called, where he's holding up all the papers. He's like, Patty Jack, Battle Whack, I don't know the lyrics, but he's like, he's rapping. And this is before any of the like Bronx hip hop.
You know that rapping comes from the flighting. From the ancient Norse times. They would flight each other. Yeah. And they would do, like, the gods would do this too, right? They would have these like epic like diss battles where
they do this during like
but it was like poetry. Like it was it's fascinating.
They did this there's Christmas lore about this in Scandinavian countries where around Christmas they would gather around a table and they would rhyme insults at each other. Like this is
that's so cool, dude. We need to bring those traditions back.
I know me and Billy were making fun of it. He was like saying how like you just like your teeth could make a hella fucking mess out of a cob of corn. Like you just like you're just like dissing people at the dinner table and shit.
I love it.
Like,
yeah,
it'd be so funny. I'm sure like people get mad that I'm like making hip hop songs about like pro white stuff, but I think it's hilarious. It just makes me want to do it more.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, dude, and you have your own like style, you have your own thing going on. Guys, we're at the top of the hour. Be sure to like the stream and share it with your friends and family. Get some more people in here. And yeah, go over to Tom's channel and subscribe. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram. I like I said, I have the Linktree posted in the link description.
Help us on YouTube and Rumble. Our YouTube's definitely shadow banned to an extent. You can see episodes that are like our protocol episode is the most watched thing, other than like I think we did an episode about these inbred Nova Scotians or whatever. But like you can see it where it's like we have like thousands of people on YouTube, but then 100 people see it. And it's just like they're definitely shadow banning some of the content and stuff like that. And that's like, it's disappointing. But I did see before we started, I was like, oh, David Icke's back up on YouTube. So they're obviously they gave him back his channel because there was stuff from like 9 years ago that didn't exist there before. So I'm like, they're becoming more lenient because they see people are going to other platforms, you know what I mean? Like Rumble and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Hell dag on, Sarah.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, let's see. So what's some other stuff that y'all been getting into lately? So is it just you and Billy now?
Oh no, Aaron, my boy. I also
shout out Aaron. And I
gotta get you on with him, dude.
We had talked about this before. Well, dude, I had been listening to Aaron longer than I had even known because I didn't know he was the same Aaron from those Conspiracy Guys episodes.
Oh, I know that one show that he came on. Yeah, which is crazy.
Well, I think he came on a couple of them, or maybe it was a different Aaron. I don't know.
He's close with Gordo and went on the show, and he's like, he hasn't talked to Gordo in a long time, but Gordo gets caught up in
Greypilled, those conspiracy
Gordo
guys.
gets caught up in his own stuff.
Yeah, I love that guy. I talked to him once when I first started the show. He went on Reality Czars with Thomas and Nate and Juan, I believe, and him and Juan were going back and forth about how Juan hadn't had him on yet or something, and now both of them really aren't doing anything. Shout out Juan. We miss you, Juan. Please come back.
When does your cousin get out of Cuban jail? It's so funny. Just to end that, I didn't talk with him for so long. He's my cousin's cousin, as weird as that is. I didn't talk to him for so long. My grandma died like a year ago, a little bit, and I haven't seen him since then. And I was like, yo, what the fuck happened after that? And he was like, I woke up in a hotel room, didn't know where I was. And he was like, I was in some shitty, like 2-star resort hotel, and he got home, but he's like, yeah, it was crazy. And I was like, always like, wow, I haven't talked to you since then, man. Like, that is fucking nuts. But yeah, we're going to do a bunch of stuff, but Aaron, I like, cause like Billy is more of the comedic. That's why it's fun. We have different guests on, and we never started the show like that. It was more or less meant to be me and my buddies hang out and talk conspiracies. That's how it's always been. And there's some people that don't necessarily like the fact that like when I interview somebody, right, I have a conversation. I don't just ask questions. I want to talk back and forth like you would if you were sitting in the same room. And some people like that style and some people don't like it. But like the show started off as me and my friends hanging out, right? So Billy was always the comedic relief. He doesn't research shit. He doesn't look into anything. I'm sure he's aware of this stuff because he's known me since he was like 16 and I was like 19 and 20s. I'm like 3 or 4 years older than him.
Yeah.
And we know each other almost like half our lives. And then we started, he's like, you're the perfect for this. You're like, you can do the comedic relief. But Aaron does his horror podcast called Class Horrorcast. Shout it out. And I'm one of his co-hosts on there. He interviews people also. But Aaron is a good way of like me and him getting these deep conversations like me and you do, Jules, where we're able to pick apart these things, but still have a lot of fun with it, where it's just very like, what is going on with the world? Why did these things happen? Like I'm getting right now into the Francis cult. I want to cover that fairly soon because that shit's interesting. And we got so many things on the go where I always try to be like, okay, true crime to the paranormal to aliens and try to really mix it up because we've been doing a lot of more controversial content. We're trying to shift gears into more fun stuff and then go back. I got some really Nate's going to come on and talk about the Kalergi plan with me. I think soon in the next week or two. So that will be fun. But like, there's a lot of weird things to do with this reality. But even if you want to get into this idea of like serial killers could be controlled, you have people like Eileen Warner's, the documentary just came out on Netflix. Yeah, Programmed to Kill. No, yeah, that's cool.
Shout out David McGowan.
I'd check that out.
Dude, go buy this book.
Have you read it yet?
Go buy this book.
Programmed to Kill. It is interesting.
Every serial killer just has ties to.
Can I get it on Amazon? It's just so much easier to go through.
Yeah, you can. And this is the book that Ian Carroll read and fucking went on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And didn't say this guy's name one fucking time. Fuck you, Ian Carroll, you faggot.
What a douche. You gotta shut him out.
Yeah.
Right?
No, dude. So it's the same thing that Candace Owens is doing right now, copying people in the parapolitical realm's work and presenting it as her own research, which we know I don't want to get into it.
Thomas
you can kind of see the mainstream.
You're all my cousins.
Let me put my book down. You can kind of see the mainstream starting to talk about conspiracies a little more. And
I wonder if that's on purpose, right? Like,
I think it is. I think they want to control the narrative.
Yes.
Tom, we have a Rumble rant from RGZ Mac, $5, says, great show. Mac, thank you, dude.
Well, that's like people in the chat are like Ian Carroll could be a Fed and stuff, right? But like he probably is. But the thing is, it is about controlling the way that the information flows. But it's like they want to control people's perspective. But then you have all these rock musicians, right? From like Dave Grohl, which I think that guy's a fucking douchebag. To all these others that are like, oh, their family member is part of the military or part of some sort of like, I like some of the stuff Tucker Carlson is saying, but his dad was connected to the CIA. So like you can like some of the aspects of what people are saying and that he's exposing the anti-white agenda, but
he sits there and goes, oh, wow, I didn't know about that. Oh, and it's like, dude, you study Kabbalah mysticism. Shut up.
Or is it part of it how Joe Rogan does that, right? Where Joe's like,
yeah, he's like,
I don't necessarily believe that, but is it he's allowing these people to have these platforms? So,
yeah, man, these people have, and they have all the money in the world. So what do you think they do in their free time?
Yeah,
they pursue, things that they enjoy, and one of those things I think is
it's fucking with people,
looking into this esoteric stuff, this mysticism and this. And the higher you go up in the elite ladder, you see it gets kind of darker and darker, right?
Yeah. But it's interesting because I wonder if there's people like they may be controlled, but like, is there a reason why? Because people are like David Icke is controlled opposition, Alex Jones is controlled, everybody, right? So I'm like, you can carry on. I know you want to mention the chat.
Absolutely. Let me see. Oh, wait a minute. Jason, did you just Jason. Egregore observation. Thank you for the $10 donation on Cashapp. I just saw that, man. Sorry, Tom.
No,
got some donations coming in from people. Thank you guys. Thank y'all. I love y'all. Let me play some sounds.
I'm gonna come.
I will eat your ass. Fucking power! Am I fucking retarded?
Fucking Nicolas Cage.
There you go. Thank you, Egregore Observation and RGZ Mac. Love you guys. If y'all want to support the show, you can do it through Rumble Rants. It's a great way to. I'll start to pull the comments up if y'all do it. What I usually do it. So I pulled the chat out.
I like that StreamYard has done that new thing where you can show it on the screen. Like that's like they're stepping up their game a little bit, but on other things not so much. Yeah, they say Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. Fucking who knows, man. It's worth questioning.
It is worth questioning, is it? Because Alex Jones is now talking about all this stuff. He's questioning the whole JQ, but now he's watching the rabbi videos, but he's not mentioning people like Adam Green or Gnostic Informant or these other people, right?
Yeah, I know, because I don't know. I think it could be controlled opposition to some extent, obviously. But they're not gonna risk themselves a lot of times, right? And either way, and to me, I'm like, it could be a big psyop, but at least the information's getting out there. Like Tucker Carlson and people like that do have a big platform, and people are starting to notice. Like a lot of people think that what's that bald guy? He's definitely like he was an ex-military. Oh, his name's on the tip of my tongue. He went on, Tucker Carlson went on his show, and they were talking about the anti-white agenda and like the white genocide stuff. And I'm like, well, at least someone mainstream is mentioning that this is happening. But then there'll be people like,
Sean Ryan?
Sean Ryan. He's like, this is on purpose, right? Like people will like be like, this is on purpose. This is the reason why this is happening. Yeah, Second Sons.
Second Sons, yeah. Shout out Jeremy.
And Nationals.
Derek.
Yeah. They're trying, man. But
yeah, like, man, they at least give a shit.
Yeah. So. And doing these in person, like in real life.
We support y'all here in Mississippi.
Yeah. They're trying, like, because like I said at the beginning of the show, if we don't have a home, we have nothing. If you don't have a place to lay your head down at night and you have to walk out your door and be in some sort of third world country, that's not good for your future, your children. That is the most important battle that we are facing as people.
What did your ancestors die for then?
I know.
Did they die for these other people?
Yeah, that's why it's so funny when I go on X and I'm like I don't like X is a weird platform to me. I just feel like you need to feed into the arguments to gain a following, and I don't like doing that. And then when I do it, it's like it's constantly fake profiles and people constantly arguing. And yeah, it's just I see videos of me and I'm like fucking weird. And it's got like 40,000 views on X. And I'm like, it's just always strange to me because I put stuff out there and I talked about what did our ancestors die for around Remembrance Day in Canada? Like, did they die for their children to be replaced by third world foreigners that have subcontinents and countries of their own that they call home, but they obviously completely destroyed it, or oligarchs and bankers destroyed it. And that's not saying that these people are inherently bad or anything like that. But if you don't have a home, you have nothing. Your country, your nation is your home, right? So,
right. Yeah. Stacks, shout out Stacks Farmstead for the $10 donation. This is just for being a crusher. Keep up the great work, Jules. Thanks, Stacks. I appreciate it, man. This past couple weeks, I'm glad I made a Calendly, dude, because like my scheduling was shit before. And now people are finally scheduling to come on the show, and I'm having constant Greypilled shows every week. That I kind of quit doing them for a minute. I started doing the Occult Reject. Shout out Nick, Headless, all the guys over there. Love those guys. They've actually not only opened a whole nother realm to this esoteric occult world that we live in, but the conversations, the guests that they have on the show, like it's just I've learned a lot from them, and they're good friends now of Greypilled, and they come on the esoteric book review, and I'm on most Occult Reject shows on the weekends you can find me on. So yeah, Tom, we got to get you on, man.
I've been on once.
Talk about reptilians or something, or whatever you want to come on and talk about. Dude.
I need to come on, and since I'm not drinking right now and stuff, I'm trying to hold back a bit, but like I need to come on, smoke a little weed, and then I'll dive into some weird shit.
Hell yeah, dude. We'll dive into it with you. Okay, Jay Brooks, send me that email again, Jay Brooks. I'll get him on. I'll get them
on.
on.
There's some other people I want like, and I'm like, that's hard with me with scheduling. Like this was funny. So like I had this lady came on once and she was like a spiritual kind of healer person or whatever. I'm like, sure. Like I'll usually like, I'll have, if people are shouting us out and they have a strange story to tell. And now I get more and more emails of people wanting to come on the show. Like I said, it was just supposed to be me and my friends hanging out or people in this podcast world. Like me and Juan used to do the Strange Wands for a long time. We parted ways.
I love those, man. Y'all had some of the best episodes on Spotify,
and banter
dude.
And stuff like that. And then so like it kind of
long
changed.
Days at work, Tom.
Yeah, I know.
Where you filled the void, dude, and that's like in my memory, man. Like that's like Strange Brew Podcast is embedded in like it's like a good memory for me. I don't know. It's weird.
I appreciate that. And it's weird that we have most of our fans and it's cool how we connected through this stuff. Is like, and that's why we all kind of need to stay connected through this podcast game and you know, we're all like a little family trying to help each other out at the end of the day, right? Yeah. You know, but then like I had this spiritual, she's a nice older lady, and the same kind of people showed at this other woman. I haven't released it yet, but she was like supposed to be a channeler that talks with like entities and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, sure. And then I was like, oh, where are you from? As we're doing the episode or whatever, recording it. And she's like, Israel. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, oh, I was very nice. And we just carried on the episode, but I did mention a lot of there's a lot of dark occultist stuff going on. But me and Aaron joked about how her name was weird. So I'd like, it'd be so funny if it was an Indian chick. And we just constantly make fun of Indians on the show. It's just because we're now Aaron's surrounded by them. Now he's at his gym. He's like, they're just standing around doing nothing.
Wales?
Ireland. Southern Ireland.
Dude, my wife wants to go, and I'm like, babe,
it's fucked there. He's getting like depressed.
It's not so this thing because she went to England. So my brother-in-law, who just made partner at his law firm, love you, man. Congrats. He lives on an island off the coast of Hong Kong. I know that's sketchy, but he went to NYU law school. Like he was the valedictorian, and he's helped me and my wife, you know, his little sister. He's helped us out a lot in our lives. So I'm very thankful for him. He's been on 2 ayahuasca trips in South America, at these places where it's like been celebrities and politicians. He can't tell me who, but yeah, he said he's seen like shadow people there, and we actually prayed for him. And he said that the shaman told him there was an angel with like all these wings standing over him, protecting him from these spiritual entities. And I had prayed.
Yeah.
I had prayed for, you know, the creator to send a messenger. You know how I'm very esoteric in my spirituality and my prayer, and I'm not your run of the mill religious person, but Shlomo Steinbaum.
That's so funny.
What's going on, man?
Tricks in the bag. I got like, so I have like costumes from over the years and shit. Like me and Billy were Jay and Silent Bob for the Halloween special, which is always a fun time. And then Aaron was fucking late, like super late. And then he comes on the stream and he was Dr. Evil. And I was like, we appreciate it.
Well worth the wait.
I know it is fine. There's a lot of weird things, like even the mushroom stuff. Like when we did an episode about angels recently, it's not out on audio, but it's out on like YouTube and Rumble and stuff. And you know, we're talking about like the seraphim and all that stuff, of the true depictions of the hierarchy of angels, like not the ones like Gabriel, Michael, but like
you're talking about the
that's like the 1,000 eyes.
Hold on, I
the
have
seraphim.
What's it called? Pleroma. It's called the Pleroma in Gnosticism. Let me pull up a picture. I have a picture on my desktop. Dude,
that like, so it's funny we're talking about these angels and the seraphim, and like obviously there's the other one that has like the eyes within the wheel or whatever. It's so crazy. Yeah, you guys can get the Fuck Communism shirt on our TeePublic site.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the description. I put your
the Linktree has all that stuff, just other than my Instagram, which I should probably add because that's I have the biggest.
I have the Linktree up, guys. So y'all go buy some merch from Tom and go.
I got some new designs too.
His Patreon is literally like $3.50.
And we get tons of
you
content
can donate
there.
more, but it's I signed up. Y'all go sign up over there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We don't get a lot of people over on Patreon. We're trying to push it, but there's a lot of video content that people like. We should be charging more for some.
You
of
have
stuff,
Patreon only content, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same stuff with him with me, guys. We have the watch parties that we did with Twin Peaks, the whole 3 seasons plus Firewalk with me. Patreon only. I think we streamed the last couple episodes live, but then made them private afterward. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's what we do with the esoteric book reviews. We stream them live, and immediately afterward they go.
We're trying to do more stuff, especially with the new kids busy. But like, there'll be tons of episodes that you will only get the video. The audio's out there. You only get the video. You'll be able to watch and see all the images and stuff that we pull up. And then there's a ton of stuff that, like, even with Juan back in the day, like there's a lot of older content too that you can go through of when we started the show. I still got to release more Lost Tapes episodes of stuff we've taken off that should only be on Patreon because it's so ridiculous and absurd. But like if it is interesting because when I've done mushrooms in talking about these seraphim, like, and I didn't research any of this stuff at the time when I had this mushroom trip, and I took like 4.5 grams of mushrooms, the strong shit. I can't remember what strain it was because I used to categorize. No, I have penis envy still in my freezer, and I also have Melmic, which is if anyone wants a nice starting strain, you don't do mushrooms that often. Melmic is great. I actually love that strain, especially for if you just starting to get into mushrooms. But if I could remember it. But there's also Maquila Gorilla is fucking strong, but there was another one. It had some thick old fucking stems on it. Stems are where most of the psilocybin is held in. Caps are not as great, but you'll still get a trip off them. And so I'm watching the Woodstock.
This is Pleroma right here in Gnosticism.
So look up the Seraphim. Look up this. This is the shit that I saw. It's crazy.
Look at the the wheels of angels, right?
Yeah. Look up the Seraphim while I talk about this because this shit is wild.
All right.
So, like as I'm doing these mushrooms and I'm watching the Woodstock footage and I'm watching like Freebird just tripping balls. I'm like, holy fuck, man, that guy can shred. And then it's so funny because I said to she was upstairs, my wife's upstairs getting ready or something. And I'm like, do you think that like I lived back then? And she was like, yeah, you probably did all the drugs and then died in the woods on the field in Woodstock or whatever.
And the mushrooms consumed you, dude.
Yeah, that's I kind of want to be made into a tree so the mycelium can consume me. And I never tried tidal wave. I'll have to check. I've tried a lot of different strains. Blue Meanie is a great one if you like strong mushrooms. But and then I'm tripping balls and I'm watching. Even this is weird. So I'm watching all this. Like I was watching Rick James. It's just the funniest shit you can watch while you're on mushrooms. This is so funny watching him in that tight little suit. Is the funniest shit. And then I'm watching like James Brown. I'm watching this interview with James Brown, right? And I'm like, that guy's a fucking reptilian. And then my TV shuts off. And then the sound bar is still playing this weird sound. And I was like, what the fuck? And like, I turned the TV back on, it's frozen on his face. That looked like all reptilian. It's during this interview where he's supposed to be on coke. Drugs can invoke these, people should go watch it. It is weird. It can invoke these demonic entities. Like that's what drugs do a lot of times. And he just I was like, there's some, I felt it, that he was demonic and my TV froze. Also, I was watching Jay and Silent Bob Reboot one time. And Shannon Elizabeth, when I was watching it on mushrooms, she looked like a reptilian. I saw
whatever happened to her, dude. You know what I mean? Like what happens to some of these actors and actresses that we never see again?
Their adrenochrome ran out because she doesn't look that great anymore.
Do they have to go back into the earth and shapeshift back into being a reptilian, and then someone else gets to come up and be the next like Disney princess or what the fuck?
Well, I always feel like this idea of like how many of them are there? The fallen angels are always like 250 or whatever. But like some of these reptilian creatures, is it the idea that Rothschild or like Dick Cheney, right? When he dies, it's not like they supposedly do these rituals where they put their soul. It's not like technological. It's almost like spiritual, where they do these rituals. God knows how dark and disturbing they are. And then they project the soul that they inhabit in that body as they're dying. They put that soul into a newborn baby. So, and this newborn baby maybe was created by these bloodlines having sex, like a cousin and a cousin. And then they're like, the queen needs to be reincarnated. So they're always here. It's just there's different versions of them, and then we see them throughout all of history, right?
You see it in the Anunnaki stories that we talked about on that one episode, dude. They're all interbreeding with each other, and who knows, maybe they're doing some kind of invocation to resurrect the soul of one of their fallen family members into this body. When Dumuzi dies, who's the youngest son of Enki, and that's Ishtar's lover.
Yeah.
She's searching for his soul for the rest of eternity, right? And she's trying to find it in all these great warriors. And so she brings them up to her sky chamber and she has sex with them. And then in the next morning, if they're dead, then she knows it's not her lover. She knows it's not Dumuzi or Tammuz.
Tammuz.
Who's just another, risen and or fallen and rising sun god, right?
Yeah, it is interesting. So then when I was when I was doing these mushrooms, right, I've all these crazy experiences. I used to watch horror movies outside on a projector by a fire. And then I'm as I'm lying there after I'm watching this Woodstock footage, right, I'm like, I'm tripping out. As I close my eyes, I see like 1,000 eyes looking at me in judgment also.
So you saw this right here.
Dude,
you saw...
the seraphim, man, it looked frightening.
These things,
it was like just.
Why it's not letting me zoom in? Oh, now you want to be a faggot.
If you go down, there's some there's some creepier pictures, I'm sure, but it looked like 1,000 different eyes staring at me, and it was pure like nightmare.
There you go.
Fuel.
There's a little bigger representation of it.
There's better ones. I'm sure if you scroll down, there's some crazy stuff, and it's like.
That's a bad representation.
You can see the seraphim real angels, like it is nuts. Yeah, some of that, like these winged kind of 1,000
like
eyes,
this?
Something like that. But it was more like psychedelic looking, right? It was like same kind of thing, and it, for all I know, could have had wings and stuff, but all I saw was thousands of eyes looking at me, almost like some of the art that Alex Grey has done, and it just like was so weird, and I was like, nope, no more of that, because it freaked me out, man. It was so weird.
Alex Grey?
Yeah, look up Alex Grey's art, man. He does a really good representation. Who knows? I heard he's into some weird stuff, man. I've heard he's into some weird things, but his art does do a very good interpretation of what you can see on high doses of mushrooms. So if you bring it up, that's kind of what I saw. Just like 1,000 eyes looking at me. That's a tool. This tool cover. But he does really good representations. There's ones of like people and kind of what you can see in these psychedelic realms. And it does do a very good representation of, this connective force that we have, even the stone ape theory. But even like I was on mushrooms. I didn't do a high dose. I haven't done them in a while. So I did it for my birthday. And even just looking at the baby, I'm just in awe.
Yggdrasil.
Have you ever seen these images before?
No.
Really? You've never seen Alex Grey's art? It's pretty impressive, dude. He does a good job at showing these interpretations of what you can see.
Dude, like this right there.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, kind of.
Okay.
And it was I'm getting chills thinking about it now. It's crazy. And there's people that have weird experiences too. I saw a huge dude in Behind the Sky, Rocky Macabre. I like that name. It's a fun name.
Have you seen? I mean, dude, yeah. There's that theory that there's that you can see like the hand of God in heaven, like shaping things.
Wavy Z. I can get my hands on some different strains, so I should try to get that, because like I used to try all these different strains, dude, and like I'd be on mushrooms every other weekend, and maybe my wife is like, you got to kind of stop. You're in like a different reality every weekend.
I ate some penis envies and went to, my dad had this show at his house.
Yeah.
Where one of these artists that he books for and manages, he used to work for a label when I was a kid, for a blues label. Now he's does his own thing. Kind of retired, I guess. I don't know. And I went and I'm hanging out with my brother and a couple of his friends, and I'm looking at him, dude, and he has like 3 faces, it seems, but it's like, it's only, I don't know. It was crazy. But it wasn't frightening or anything, It was like, wow.
Have you ever looked in a mirror? That's like that's how I test how high I am.
Yeah, I used to do that.
Did it scare you?
Yeah, dude. I used to.
Dude, I've seen where it, like, splits my face. Like, it's fucked. And that's how I tell how high I am. Because if I can still go in the mirror and look at myself, it like starts morphing. I'm like, okay, I'm still here. You know, because it shows you some shit. People are scared of doing that.
I used to experiment as a young.
I didn't try it till later on, so I'm thankful.
Should have never taken the amount of 2CI, 2CB, 25I. You ever heard of that stuff?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, we were doing a lot different things in Mississippi. Research chemicals and never take 2CE, man. Never take it.
I've never even heard
You'll
of
have
it.
an ego death, and it's like it's pretty dark. And I remember somebody put on the movie Stuck on You with Greg Kinnear.
Oh, weird.
And Matt Damon. And I had the worst experience. But dude, I had been there before.
Weird.
I had been there before. I had seen this before. Like, I had seen this movie in this state before, but not it was in a dream at some time. And I remember my friends fucking with me, and they were making weird noises, and I'm just sitting there just like almost in tears, just like, I hate y'all so much. Then again, the guy told me, he was like, take like a quarter of this. I end up drinking a bunch of Jameson, and I take 2 full hits. Idea. Terrible idea.
Never
I
mix
wake up
psychedelics
soaked
with alcohol.
in my own this was 15 years ago. 16 years ago when I was crazy. Long time ago, guys.
I don't even know what that is, man. I've done.
And the next day I got my mammoth
a little bit
on my arm
and weed.
done. My tattoo done the next day on my arm. And I had not been to sleep. I was looking at the ceiling and it was moving and I was getting a tattoo. I have put myself through, I think, pain. I mean, dude, getting my big wolf head on my belly, the belly button had to be like colored in with the tattoo gun. I endured that multiple times. Yeah. And I haven't gone back to get it finished. I don't know when.
Most of my arms are done, but I only have one on my chest. I need to and some people were like, tattoos are gay or whatever. Like, there's people that I'm like, I don't give a shit. At least when I die what I liked. That's what I would say. I was like, when they bury me, they're like, oh, he liked this artist and this stuff. And a lot of my shit is like hip hop inspired. I want to get like Strange Brew tattooed. I just think it'd be sick to get like the logo because it looks so intricate, or like get some of the homies and like it just be some of these cool designs, right? But like,
your
it's
friends
just
can live on you forever.
It's just art, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, dude, that's what, and that's why you got all these people, they turn 18 and they get sleeves done. They get their whole body done by the time they're 21. And it's like, dude, this is supposed to tell a story. And then you
go all black like MGK.
This is the difference between being a trendy faggot and coming from tattoo culture.
Yeah.
Tattoo culture, it tells a story over time.
Yeah.
That's why I'm waiting. I think this next year, I think I'm going to get 3 or 4 done. Me and my wife, we usually wait a few years. We drop a few hundred each. We get a few done, and we wait a few more years.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I can't afford that shit. It cost me so much to get like my whole like arm filled in for when I had the album cover from Cage, where it's like the dog licking up the blood cross. And it's like, I had to get it like full filled in because even my wife's like, you just have a giant upside down blood cross on your arm. We should fucking like at least get the background filled in. And I've talked with Cage and I like his music, but don't meet your heroes, everybody. Don't meet your heroes. I've had arguments with Necro. I've had arguments with Cage, if you know who that is. He's a pretty good rapper. Like, a lot of his stuff is kind of esoteric. Now he goes by the name Sam Hill and doing this kind of satanic rap, which
man.
It's weird, but he's into the occult. I think he would be interested. I don't know what the fuck that is, but he said he woke up with cum on his arm.
Oh, Chip Wellington is a very interesting guy. He says, I'm Chiron. You're Chiron. A centaur, or you're the teacher. I woke up with cum on my arm, so that's fun. Chip may be the teacher. Hopefully it was your own cum, Chip.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what this is.
But yeah, dude. So I have a few designs that I'm thinking of getting: the Ouroboros, the serpent, eating its tail tattooed.
I thought
right
about
there.
that too. That'd be kind of interesting to do. I've thought about something like that.
Well, it represents the supreme creator. That's what a lot of people don't understand. It actually represents the creator, the eternal, right? Life eternal. The serpent representing the energy waves. Like I said, from the sun, all this stuff. In the ancient world, also the lion eating the sun, the alchemical lion eating the sun. I want to get a green man on me, just a bunch of
I want some fun. I want some fun tattoo. I want some alien shit. I have an idea of me getting abducted by aliens. That's why I got like this. It's hard to see, but like the caduceus of the serpent entwined, because it's due with the reptilian DNA in us, which is
real. I mean, it also has to do with healing, right?
Yeah.
So medicine. If you get that tattooed on you, does that instill some, form of good health, right? Like we have to ask ourselves these things. These symbols mean something.
These are my bitches.
Not only do they mean something here, Tom, they mean something in another realm as well.
That's what I worry about. We're talking to some people I have on the show or researching some of the things I have. I'm like, am I even hip hop? Like when I was talking to Ryan Gable and he's like, you're doing a spell when you're creating this music and stuff like that. And I'm like, I was like, what kind of spell am I creating by, I don't know, being pro-white or calling out the government or, I'm sure everyone on this show would probably really like my song, called Conspiracy Theory Part 2. It's quite conspiracy based. I try to really push some of that stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. The rod of Asclepius. That's what I was talking, about getting tattooed on me.
I don't want to see that thing on mushrooms, whatever the fuck that thing is in that picture.
Tomcat got some hotties behind him.
My hose. These are my hose, man.
The reptilian demon hose.
This is Cassandra. This is Betty White. She has made now into just kidding. It's so dumb.
Yes, apple eater, basically. That's funny you say that. My mom was wanting to get that tattoo with me. I was like, yeah, maybe you and my wife can get it. I don't know.
I like to get something dedicated to my daughter and stuff like that. So it's just like a story, right? But it has become over exaggerated to some. There's some chicks that can really rock it, and then there's some that like guys too. They look kind of douchey, right? So it just depends. But yeah, we can. I probably at least got like a 15, 20 more minutes in me. So if you want to,
dude,
what do you want to get into?
Hang out for a minute. Well, what's some stuff that y'all been getting into recently?
We got some stuff. There's some stuff going on.
I like you said, you and Aaron, you have that one show that you do, the horror cast.
Horror cast.
Is that the show where you get into true crime, or do you do that on
mostly
Strange Brew as well?
Strange Brew is definitely more of the true crime. Me and Aaron talk about horror movies, but we also analyze them, and I try to bring some of the show, but we're trying to, he's had some big guests on the show. We're trying not to like blow it up by, being too far on the one end, because horror fans are all types of people, right? So, but it's fun to doing, but Aaron's always been interested in the conspiracy stuff. So me and him always have good conversations because we're able to pick each other's minds, and we also have a very dark sense of humor. And then he invokes this thing about making fun of Indians all the time. I hate it because we're always like, we're doing a show about like amusement parks, like the horrible things that happen at amusement parks. Like someone gets their head ripped off. And then he's bringing up Indian amusement parks. Someone in the chat was like, look up Indian amusement parks. And then we're looking at
do they malfunction like daily?
Dude, it's fun. There's one that is like no electricity. So it's just a bunch of Jeets like trying to use their body weight to like do the Ferris wheel. They're fucking crazy.
At that point, you just don't have an amusement park.
He's like, these are the people that are going to be running your fucking fair soon, right? But
dude.
The true crime stuff, I think we do really well. A lot of people ask for it, and it's just because we really like
tells a story, Stacks. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we really deep dive into these the conspiracies and stuff like that also. But I'm fascinated. We have so many things that's on the go. I want to do a Black Nobility episode. We're getting into the Francis cult.
Bring me in on that, dude.
Yeah.
That's something I started off early talking about, were the Venetian bloodlines, the banking families.
We can do that. We can set
and
that
how
up to
they
actually
infiltrated. How these were the priesthoods of Amun Ra in Egypt. I think Marmaduke We talked about him a few times. That guy. They integrated into royalty.
Yeah. I can bring you on for that episode. I think it might be interesting because that'll be a big deep dive that eventually we'll get into. Like, I'm really trying to get the Francis cult done soon. But even like true crime is so interesting to me because it's like what drives these serial killers and these people to commit these acts. And is it some sort of mind control? Because like clearly like people like Charles Manson were implicated in these maybe MK Ultra type experiments. But you also have like Eileen Warners. She could be batshit crazy. She's the most fucking bizarre serial killer female. And it's becoming popular where if you see some of those like tapes or interviews in the jail, she's like, they're using sonic pulsing in my skull. You know what I mean?
Well, and then David Berkowitz, Charles Manson, these people had Dana on, I think 2 weeks ago, last week. She talked about the Process Church and how this is all linked. And one of the Manson girls was I think a member of the Process Church.
Yeah, so is well, and then you have who was it? Was it I don't think it was Gary Ridgway. It was Otis Toole and what's the other guy's name? They were connected to the Hidden Hand. I think that's what it was called. Another like kind of weird cult and
all these groups are connected to the Temple of Set and like they're all intertwined in some way and they all take orders, I think, from these families that have essentially run everything.
When they use them to inflict fear, right? I'm sure like Ted Bundy had weird connections, but a lot of them have connections to the military. Like Jeffrey Dahmer went to the military. He used to get drunk as fuck. He went to Germany and people claim there is weird things about Dahmer going to Germany, right? And like maybe killing people there. We don't know. And there's a lot of connections to the military. David Berkowitz, there's a ton of them. We'll be diving into John Wayne Gacy. We're actually going to do the Finders cult pretty soon. All these
get Austin Picard on, dude.
Oh, I think I know who that is.
Get my boy Austin on, man. No, I'll send him a text, dude. Send him a message, man.
That'd be interesting.
You would be fascinated with the stuff that he has to say, man. He is an endless vault of knowledge. But dude, not only is it these serial killers, it's the school shooters as well. You know?
Yeah. And that it's all part of like, it's definitely like a psychological, like they put them on all these drugs and stuff like that. And it's just like, and God knows what's in these shots that they're giving. Okay. I'll have to check out Austin. That'd be interesting. I love picking people's brains. Like I said, like there's some people at the show that want me to like interview people. That's not how I do my thing, man. I'd rather have conversations, go back and forth. And like, I was thinking about this, rather than like someone got mad because I talked to the Dominion Society, which we're a nationalistic thing, and we're going back and forth. And I don't like the interview process. I don't like being like, so how do you feel today? What do you think about this subject? Right? It's just like, let's get into it. Maybe they've replaced the mass shooters from like serial killers of this idea of it's inflicting fear, right? And consuming energy. And you
mass
think about
trauma.
Maybe this is idea of like, something like Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer. Some people actually feel bad for Jeffrey Dahmer and people like Ed Gein because like they don't necessarily know what they're doing is wrong. They just had this impulse. Now, what is controlling them? Is it some sort of demonic force that is controlling this impulse to kill? And then you think about like these bitches behind me, these reptilian bitches. You have some sort of consuming energy force, like whether it be like shadow people or some sort of demonic source of energy, and it could be something that doesn't even look human, something that looks like amorphous blob of blackness, and it's just like this consuming energy. And these things are they maybe, like I've said before for a long time, is like they don't feed off of how we eat cattle and plants to stay alive. These things feed on energy. So maybe they possess someone like a Ted Bundy, a Jeffrey Dahmer. There's people that claim that they've seen people's eyes shift and change, while they're under these states of in killing, and people have claimed they've seen this. And maybe it's something possessing them, and then as they're killing somebody or strangling them to death or whatever, there's so many different serial killers, these things are just behind them, just sucking up all the energy, right? Using them, maybe even controlling them, and then once they either are executed and dead, like, or just die of natural causes like Richard Ramirez, maybe they just leave them. Because Richard Ramirez, I think, was invoking some sort of demonic entities and beings doing occult rituals. And he's very smart, man.
in
he was
some
Listen to
underground
him talk.
order. Yeah.
And he says this stuff of like the Satanists aren't these people like kids in the forest, doing these weird rituals with a goat skull. These are politicians, judges, lawyers, and they're doing these weird satanic rituals, which you could just like the word satanic, you could like dark occultist rituals, and then they are consuming the energy of the people surrounding them. And people might not even realize it, but there's people out there that might be psychic vampires themselves. If you project your own insecurities and all your like, you have a bad day and you push it on somebody else and you feel good about making them feel bad about themselves, that's also, you're feeding into the same energy that these things consume, right? So it goes deeper than I think a lot of people want to admit, right?
Yeah, definitely, dude. Definitely.
It's bizarre.
And that's what we were talking about earlier with these people now kind of bringing it into the mainstream. It really does make you wonder, like, and another good person that talks about this stuff is my boy 7Cs. He exposes a lot of these kind of independent, let's say it, right-wing influencers, who they are funded by, who what company their parents work for.
Mm-hmm. Like Jack Black has connections to like some weird shit too.
Dude, yeah. And you look into look into that guy, man. The stuff he's done.
Is he worshiping the Nephilim clowns, dressing up like a stupid, goofy clown-looking fuck? Like, just sad because like there's stuff and there's celebrities and movies I like, but it's like, oh, these people are fucking creepy. Like, like God knows what they're doing, right? And it's like we joked on the one episode, like I like Shia LaBeouf, the Boof Boy. I always liked his stuff. And then the one episode, this is years ago, me and Billy were talking about like like how all of our heroes are just fucking creepsters, you know what I mean? Like it's like sad, like, or people you like in like Hollywood, and you can't like anyone, right? Like never worship these celebrities, but you're like, oh, I like this guy in this movie, but then you find out they're involved in some shady stuff, and it's just like everyone has to realize that all these people, politicians, celebrities they're worshiping are probably involved in some sort of demonic energy and forces, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's how it's been since antiquity, and it's never the politicians. It's never the aristocrat. It's never the wealthy landowner or CEO. It's always the priest, right?
Yeah.
It's the priest class. So if you pay attention, you can kind of see who the high priest and priestesses are in Hollywood. Yeah, dude,
they're puppet masters and stuff. Like
I think
the
Jim
weird
Carrey,
thing Charlie Kirk and shit.
Jim Carrey is one. Obviously,
I like Jim Carrey. It's sad. He said he went to the forest.
I know it's sad, but he, there's things. I don't know. That'd be cool deep dives we could do.
I would get into some Jim Carrey. It's interesting because he said he did some sort of. I think he did some sort of psychedelic. And then he comes back into Hollywood and he's talking about how like he's not himself and he was just playing a character and nothing is real and he's wearing like Illuminati shit and it's just interesting, like whatever happened to him.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. I've heard about that too, Rocky. Yeah, no. So and then there's people like him who probably come to and they're like, wait a minute, what the fuck have I done? And then
Robin Williams.
They're done, right? They got to be they got to go, right? Robin Williams. And it's sad, dude, but it's like
Chester Bennington connected to Podesta and
these
stuff.
People, I think these people make these deals when they're at a very like low place in their life, right?
Yeah,
and they don't know about the occult. They haven't done research into it, like the Faustian bargain and all this stuff, like giving these entities consent, right?
Well, there's that story of like it's like a YouTuber. They're two famous YouTubers. Maybe it's Mr. Beast. They don't really know. That guy's fucking weird shit, anyways. And
that dude's
there's something going on with it. And then people like claim to be an insider or something like that. Like it's not my story, but they said that like, and then they were going to this party, almost like a P. Diddy party, something along those lines. And then they were brought through one room and they had to do something weird. And then they were brought to the next room and they had to probably, do something, it gets weirder and weirder as they get brought through these rooms. You're just like licking just watching a chick get her fucking snatch licked out by a dog with peanut butter or something like that. And then it gets weirder and weirder, right?
Donkey shows.
Yeah.
We talked about the donkey. Yeah.
Yeah. And then one of the guys left. He's like, I can't do this. This is just getting too weird. He leaves. And as he's supposed to be leaving towards like to exit the party, he goes around the side to get his cab or whatever. And he said he looked in the window and he saw this YouTuber, his buddy, doing some sort of weird satanic shit, probably do with children. And then he saw him like months later and he's like, you can't tell anybody what you saw. Cause he's like, I saw you. What the fuck were you doing in there? Da, da, da. And like, so stuff like that, I think does happen. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I've said that for years, of this idea of celebrities selling their souls in this life and they get handed everything they want. Like people like randomly like MGK or like Katy Perry and some of these people that you see out in the open. Justin Trudeau is now fucking, even though he's gay with Marcon, is putting on this false that he's actually this false presentation that he's actually straight or some shit.
Yeah.
And then they don't have to next life. They're gone, right? Their soul's gone the next life, right?
Well, and it's not just like selling your soul in the sense of you just hand it over for something. It is completely, it's debasing your soul until there is nothing left, right? It is committing acts, heinous acts on children or on, animals, whatever. On your family. We see that happen a lot in Hollywood. These
they
people
get this
lose people very
adrenochrome
close
from children,
to them.
they claim, right? It's like you inflict so much fear, and then I don't know what the hell that shit.
Well, and then the transing their kids, right? That's another form of child sacrifice. Is this the mutilation of your children's genitals? And
fucking Mark Carney and his trans daughter and shit, like all that. That's a sacrifice too.
It's not a coincidence that all these celebrities have this common theme, right? Either that or they're adopting these other kids, and who knows, doing who knows what to them.
Is talking about Zappa? Frank Zappa is fucking weird. Also, there's some weird stuff to do with
that guy. Was an occultist as well, dude. Like a lot of these people are magicians. They're initiates. They're in these secret societies and in these ancient mystery schools. And the knowledge has been subverted, dude. If you go and look at where this stuff comes from all the way back, it comes from our ancestors. These original mystery schools. And the knowledge was for everybody. If you were an upstanding citizen,
I heard that too.
You could have been a blacksmith and been a part of one of these societies. I was talking about this. I've been talking about it a lot lately because I've been getting into the Orders of the Quest. They're in the medieval times. These knights, they weren't only like warriors of this, they of this like guild, I guess you can say, but they were also initiates of a certain mystery school. And they couldn't become a knight until they passed through all these initiations. Dude, which go back to the Drots or the Druids, which just means oak, because they would receive their messages from under an oak tree. And it's very fascinating, dude. But this is like, this has been lost to society, right? Yeah. All this stuff. I think it has been taken and manipulated, subverted, and used against us.
Yeah, and I think that too. And I think we were looking at the Illuminati on the one episode. It was almost like it started off as something that was actually fairly good of receiving people's knowledge. There's all these different conflicting ideologies, right? And we don't know. And it is true. Like someone in the comments, we helped the internet. We got chaos magic, and that's probably
our government adopted the Thelema. Thelema is just a religion made up. Crowley made it by all the bastardized teachings of the mystery schools. He put them in his own rituals to Typhon and his own lower.
My wife just got me an eggnog Starbucks coffee.
Shout out Shells.
That's so funny.
Shout out little Tomcat too. Little Tom girl.
I don't like saying her name on.
I'm not going to. I don't even know her name. You have a very precious child, Tom.
It's okay. This fucking satanic company. But their coffee is
isn't who's on the front of that? Isn't it like Lilith or some?
Yeah, something along those lines. It's supposed to be like Satan or some shit. It's
like Hecate or somebody.
Yeah, it's there's interesting stuff, and I probably should head out soon. At least we got to 2 hours.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah,
no, hey, man. Yeah, we're coming up on 2 hours, guys. This was a fun show. Tom, we got to get you back on, man. We got to get Billy and Aaron in here with you. Also, I got to get together with you guys.
Good. We're trying to figure out, but I think we're gonna start going live every other Sunday and try to stick to a live schedule so people can come join us on Rumble and YouTube and X and Twitch and stuff like that. You can find all at Strange Brew Podcast, but like, it's fun to get everyone together. So we're trying to figure it out because it always seems to be a problem with scheduling, right? But I always like coming on shows like this because in Strange Brew, we always stick to a format. Yes, we definitely go off topic, but usually, okay, we're talking about this specific topic. So always to come on shows like yours where we can kind of just shoot the shit and talk about all these different subjects is always a lot of fun for me because I have so many thoughts. Even on people on the show can hear it where we might be talking about politics and all of a sudden, I'm talking about how like white people were in North America first because the Solutreans and like just it goes everywhere, right? So
yeah,
I always enjoy doing this this type of stuff because I could talk for hours and it could get all into something else in more detail. All of a sudden, we're talking about the gray aliens or anything, right? So there's a lot of things we can get into,
Hell yeah, dude! No, let's just talk in the back channels about it, and we can schedule some stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate you having me on. If everybody that is watching this or listening, if Jules wants me to, I'll put it out on my side in audio also, just to get us some love and stuff like that. And it's a fun kind of episode. We got into so many different things. Please support us at Strange Brew Podcast. We are on X. Mostly I'm just trying to post videos and stuff like that from the show. Instagram, we have the biggest following. If you are more into the political content type of stuff going on in the world, I have the Raptilian. I just got to 15,000 people on Instagram. I had one taken down at 13,000. So I'm building back up and it's, I've received a lot of love, some hate too. I get some people threatening me just for speaking about the truth, but Instagram, we're the most active. There's a bunch of fun clips you can look at. And YouTube, Rumble, X, all podcast platforms. And for the people that don't understand, we've been doing this for 7 years, which is crazy. And there's probably like at least half of the show that is just audio, and even stuff like that you can find on Patreon. Like there's probably about 100 episodes that got taken off the show that when we were first starting, we're sloppy. That is, some of them have been put on Patreon, so they get content like that. So I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Me and Jules have stayed connected for a while now, and with him and Nate and some other people, I just see like we're trying to create this fun family. We can jump on each other's shows and help each other out, right?
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. All right.
Yes, that might happen.
All right, Tom.
Okay. I will see you later, my homie.
All right, brother. Thank you for coming on, man. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, we'll set something up for my show because I like to get you back on. We can stick to a whole topic. You know what I mean? Go in something deep.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Right. Before I leave, let's play this one more time. Okay, I'll get out of here. It didn't play the Adolf Hitler part, which I thought would be funny. All right, everybody, goodbye. Support the shit. I appreciate it.
Y'all go follow Tomcat. Subscribe to his channel, his Patreon. That was a blast. Guys, we're doing Esoteric Book Review tomorrow morning. Me, Subliminal. I don't know if Rat will be there. I think Nick will be there. Yeah, we like it deep. Yeah, this was a fucking banger, dude. We've been putting out bangers this last couple weeks. Thank you, everyone on Tomcat's channel, for coming and checking us out. Go follow me over on Twitter at greypilledpod, Instagram greypilled_podcast, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. If you want to support the show, thank you, Mac. Egregore Observation, or I'll start calling you JJ Egregore since that's your name on Rumble. And Stacks for the donations. I appreciate it, guys, always. If y'all want to support the show elsewhere, you can go to patreon.com/greypilledpodcast. If you're on Rumble, you can go to Locals and support us over there. Also, there's Cashapp, PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, Powerchat, and Ko-Fi in the description. Need to augment my druidical research. Yes, clockwise. Man, if you have anything you find, throw it my way, dude. I'm trying to uncover the mysteries of the druids. It's hard. You got to go through different sources and links. and you got to take some stuff with a grain of salt, but maybe we can make some connections. Starting my deep dive on that very soon. Well, it's already beginning, obviously, talking about the Orders of the Quest. And I want to read The Veil of Isis with y'all, the Mysteries of the Druids. It talks about the origins of Albion, or Britain, Britannia, and Gaul. It's very interesting. It may not all be 100%, but very interesting book. So maybe we'll read that as well. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I will message me, and I'll send me your address. Dox yourself to me. Not here, but send me a DM, and I'll send you a sticker pack. Sent 5 out this week. JJ, you, and Tara, and a few other people. I think Panda and a couple other people. Yeah, are going to get their sticker pack. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Something you get for joining the Patreon, and I get nothing. I get no money out of it. I only get satisfaction. You guys wearing me on your belongings, and yeah. So great way to support the show, though. Tomorrow, the Veritas Road. My guys from the Veritas Road will be coming on 7:00 Central. So esoteric book review tomorrow morning. And I tried to find Lost Highway on the internet last night. I can't. I don't know. I think I have HBO. I want to watch Sexy Beast as well, and Layer Cake with you guys. I don't know what's up with me and the British gangster films, but I guess it's from me watching Guy Ritchie as a kid. I don't know. My dad used to watch Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels like every weekend. I'd stay with him. So big fan. Anyway, I did download Inland Empire, so we could watch that. I don't know if y'all want to watch a David Lynch movie, or we can watch something else. I've been binging Vikings, binge watching Vikings on Netflix. Pretty cool show. Don't know if it's 100% accurate, but it's a pretty cool show. And HBO only $2.99 for the next 12 months. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I can sign up for more. The more people who sign up for the Patreon, the more, streaming services I can sign up to, and all that fun stuff. Also working on setting up merch. Also, if you notice in the Rumble, I have a lot of emotes in there. Tons of emotes for subscribers. If you want to subscribe on Rumble, I'm going to keep adding stuff in there. If y'all want to make me any personalized emotes, you can. The image has to be 512 by 512. It has to be a GIF, but I don't know, make some stuff, make some like Gods of the Morning Wood, or Handsome Faggot, or Gay-Pilled. I don't know, whatever you want to do. You guys who know me who know me the best, criticize me the best. So I love it. I'm here for it. Lost Highway is crazy. Yeah. We're on a Lynch kick. So, but yeah, no, the show was fun, guys, and I'm gonna go hang out with my family. I don't know if I'll be streaming later today. Probably not. I don't know if we'll do a Rustic Gods this weekend. Me and Headless. Maybe we can work it into this next week. That there is an Occult Reject show tomorrow. Guy from the Golden Dawn is coming on. Is it fucking raining? Oh, dude, it's gonna be freezing. I'm freezing right now. I just realized that I'm actually pretty cold. Trying to get a new house soon, guys, so I can get a podcast room. We're trying to sell our house. That's what I've been busy doing that too. Life gets you busy sometimes. So hopefully I've been putting out enough content to keep y'all satisfied. And rap is gay. Yeah, not everyone's a fan, Uncle Ted. It's good to see you, though. Better late than never, huh? Thanks, Stacks. And yeah, you were talking about your tattoos you got in prison, dude. Yeah, it's your story, brother. That's, tattoos are supposed to tell a story, not a fashion trend for you to just get a bunch of fucking like roses and weird like little trinket looking things that a grandmother would have in a china cabinet on your fucking body. Like what is going on with the culture today where people are getting stuff like that. I don't understand. It's like my daughter learned how to like draw with a pencil and made tattoos. I don't get it. It looks like shit. Stop fucking doing it. You might as well get stick people tattooed on your arm or wherever you do. Get some shit. Get a wolf head. Get some cool shit. Something that my animal heads represent my animal nature of my body, of our lower nature that is symbolized by the body. Now, did I know that when I got them? No, but now it's kind of like, oh wow, I don't know, some revelation that I had. I don't know. I like animals, so there's that too. It's snowing. Yeah, man. Well, I'm in Mississippi, so it's usually pretty hot here. But yeah, guys, working on an edit too. So if there's any episodes where there's any particular like hot takes or anything a guest says that is memorable that y'all want to clip and send to me, or anything that y'all want to make for me, if anyone wants to make an edit and send it to me, I will play it at the end of every show. We got new Paranoid American edits. Body is a temple. I know. Or is it that we have temples on our body and we connect with the creator through our temples, right? I don't know. But yeah, your body is a temple. Yeah. Don't desecrate it, guys. Don't be like me. Don't get tattoos. And, ink poisoning and all that. I don't know. But Midwest snowstorm, we inside today. Well, be safe, David. And it's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thanks for swinging by, dude. Go join the Patreon. Guys, join the Patreon. We do a lot of cool shit over there. Subliminal Messengers on there. Season of the Rats on there. The Occult Rejects are on there. Me and Paranoid American, we have, he's going to break down the Sword in the Stone movie with me, the Disney one. We're going to watch it and break that down. That's going to happen soon. I'm going on Cult of Conspiracy. I'm going on Prometheus Lens. I'm going on White Rabbit Podcast. And like I said, Veritas Road is coming on. And then who else do I have coming on? Need to rebook Robbie Marks, Cosmic Peach, Julia. Shout out Julia. She'll be coming on. And then I need to get up with Isaac Wisep. And Sam Tripoli got back to me, like I said. Hopefully can get him on for a Greypilled episode. Horseshoes and Hand Grenades are going to get their own episode soon, as well as Subliminal Rat and Not Nice Guy. You know how we do it. We're going to let everyone shine, give them their pedestal, and let them talk about what they want to talk about. And we may have some guests on in the near future that everyone doesn't agree with. Tough shit. Deal with it and learn to accept other people's opinions. Even if it affects you, makes you uncomfortable, learn to just roll with it. That's the best way to overcome it. And that's how you overcome your fears as well. We talked about that a lot lately. Like I said, beating a dead horse. Fear is the strongest emotion. That's how we are controlled, through fear. I shat on Yahweh the other. My stone has been cast. Subliminal the other day. Oh no. Well, hey, Brother Rabal, son of El, right? Insert name here, right? Anyway, guys, yeah, Dana did kill it with the Alex Jones. Dude, Candace dad. I'm having Austin Picard on soon. We're going to talk about that. Also, John Lee Chowbeck coming on to watch Under the Silver Lake. We're decoding all the craziest thing is the chaos sigil on the pizza box that I haven't seen anyone point out. When Andrew Garfield's eating the pizza, there's a chaos magic sigil on the top. That's from the pizza, but it's quite clearly a chaos magic sigil. The same one on the Red Hot Chili Peppers cover. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, has my camera been doing that the whole time? I should have cleaned it. Yeah, go check out the episode that I had with Dana. Like I said, guys, bunch of cool stuff happening on Greypilled the next couple months. We're talking about new things, new ways to look at things, and we're evolving, right? we're gaining gnosis and enlightenment as well. So I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. And if I don't see you guys this weekend for the rest of the shows, y'all stay Greypilled. All right? Stay Greypilled. Peace out, everybody.
All American stickers, cryptids, cults, and killers. We got all your favorite conspiracies, all the land and more on our sticker sheets. Paranoid American stickers, they'll make you smile and snicker. False flags and secret society, all of these and more on our sticker sheets.
Explore the unique with Paranoid American sticker sheets. Unearth tales of cryptids, cults, and mysteries through each sticker. These won't last long. Get yours now at paranoidamerican.com.
We're all American stickers, cryptids, cults, and killers. We got all your favorite conspiracies, all the land and more on our sticker sheets. Paranoid American stickers, they'll make you smile and snicker. False flags and secret society, all of these and more on our sticker sheets.
What the heck are you waiting for? Discover the extraordinary with Paranoid American sticker sheets. From cryptids in the night to cults out of sight, each sticker is a unique find. Get yours now at paranoidamerican.com.
Pull that shit up, Jamie.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of factors there, right?
See, the old wives' tales were like, you get demon-possessed by that cat, and really it's a damn brainworm.
Well, that's probably also why they told you not to eat pork.
And that's science fiction. That's a real brainworm programming you, like you were saying earlier. I looked at it through. I didn't know that.